Alright, welcome back to The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2. We finally get to progress the story today, very exciting. I want to be able to collect more classmates. Hopefully we can make that happen today, we'll see. Hello Malbrand, welcome to stream. You thought today would be Fantasio? Fantasio I think will be on Tuesday. Yeah, because I'm not intending to stream tomorrow because it's Pokemon Community Day and it's Sports Ball Day in America. So I don't think that would go super well. Monday will be next I'm on, but Tuesday we should be back to Fantasio. Keyword should. Keyword should. Yeah, I think all we have to do is go, get on the ship, so let's do it. But yeah, it has been a while since Fantasio. I have been missing the game. Where's the Courageous? Oh, I found it. It's kind of big and kind of red. Should I go and check on Valimar in the hold? Oh, I guess. If I do, I probably won't have the time to do anything else out here. It looks like the maintenance is nearly finished. Okay, returning the Courageous will cause the main story to advance. Any unseen bonding events will no longer be available. Joke's on you, game. I've seen them all, because you tricked me.
Upper rank you go!
Yay!
Here's a bonus from the academy.
Domination? Is that the one that I really like? I think that's the quartz that I really like. Oh, Lara, I have a gift for you.
Wow, that must have been tough.
It was tough, Toa.
I'm so proud of you, Reen.
Oh, I got another S. Thank you. Somehow, some way. You're pretty sure it is? That's exciting. One of my favorite quartz has come back to me.
Greetings, my lady.
Want to know what's not exciting? I have to go turn in my nonsense to, Fishing Lady, and we're gonna have to try and get that fish again. That's not exciting.
How are you feeling, Valimar? The battle yesterday must have been pretty hard on you.
I am fine. The damage to my armor and lost mana have largely recovered. I expect to be in peak condition before our next battle.
That's good to hear. Just listening to you talk, you really have changed since we first met. You seem to be talking a little more like a human now.
Is that so? That would suggest that my memory is slowly recovering.
What's that now?
The part of me in which memories are stored appears to be damaged.
And it's just recovering over time? Must be nice.
I have very few memories of the past, such as why I was sealed within the old schoolhouse to begin with. This includes my memories of language. Thus far, I have had to rely on the preset bare minimum of speech functionality.
Very interesting that he refers to it as the old schoolhouse instead of whatever it was originally called. I guess he's still missing that memory.
However, thanks in great part to your assistance, my speech functionality is slowly beginning to restore itself.
Does that mean that your memories of the past are starting to return too?
It is an indistinct memory, as if clouded by white noise. I seem to recall someone burdened by a great sadness, much like yourself.
That obvious, huh? I look that burdened to you?
Even the robot knows that you're sad.
Someone died right before my eyes, and I was powerless to stop them. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that I might have been able to stop it from happening. And that regret's like a thorn stabbing into my heart. Was the person in your memory able to move past their burdens?
I am unable to find any memories to answer that question. However, I believe that your sense of regret is an entirely natural process for humans. Is that not the case?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Give thought to what you would do differently if confronted by the same situation again. If I can aid you, I shall.
Yeah, you're right. I can't undo the past, but I can at least make sure I don't make the same mistake a second time.
I'm still pretty sure Emma could have teleported V out of there.
Perhaps considering how to do that is the best thing that I can do right now. Thanks, Valimar. I feel a little better after talking to you.
Well, maybe because she doesn't know the inner workings of that soul dot, maybe she couldn't have.
Then all is well. I am afraid I must return to sleep. Should you require my aid again, you need only to call my name.
I need to keep on getting stronger. Strong enough that I can protect the people around me. The ship's maintenance is probably almost done now. Maybe I should take a nap or something while I wait for the others to get here? Yes, this is Reen Schwarzer speaking.
Hey there, Reen. George here. Do you have a minute?
Sure. Weren't you at, the school, though?
George, is something wrong?
Well, I'm over at the Ruhr Institute of Technology at the moment.
Oh, is this gonna be that guy that needed help but wouldn't let me help him on our free day?
And an acquaintance of mine here has a pretty interesting proposal regarding your Divine Knight.
Perhaps not, then.
How soon do you think you can come over?
A proposal? Who is this acquaintance of yours?
Well, it's the Institute's president, actually.
Oh, I have to talk to Schmidt? I've heard terrible things about that guy.
Professor Schmidt, the Empire's foremost orbital researcher.
I have heard absolutely terrible things about that guy. But if he can give me a better sword, I'm in. Professor G. Schmidt. The name's G. Schmidt. I serve as this institute's president. I certainly wasn't expecting the pilot of that Ashen Knight to be only a boy. I didn't think monocles traditionally had the, whatever the nose piece is called. I'm pretty sure they don't. Whatever. Odd. The Alliance ought to be darn near ashamed of themselves if they keep losing to a snot-nosed brat like you. Can I punch him? Is that an option? I know he's old, but I still think he's punchable. I don't think that's any way to talk to a person you've only just met. Besides, he happens to be one of the students who helped get you that minor medal earlier in the year. And one of the students put out that request without any input from me. He should be kissing my boots for having the honor of assisting with my research, however indirect it was. Again, can I punch him? Some things never change. Putting that aside, is it true? Were you the one responsible for developing the Panzer Soldats? It is. Duke Cayenne made the request and I agreed to it. I used an ancient robot, or Dean, and the Society's archaisms as a reference point. And then designed a frame that could be mass-produced, even with the Rhineford Company's technological capabilities. Afterward, I drew up plans for several models and oversaw the completion of a Draken prototype a few months back. So you knew about the Civil War before it even happened. So you knew what the Noble Alliance was doing with the stolen ore from the Rhineford Company, and you just sat there and were like, yeah, I will make your death robots. Everything is fine. Why do you ask? Do you have any idea what you've done? You're wasting your time, Reen. He develops whatever catches his interest, loses himself in it until he's done, and to heck with the consequences. The railway guns in Corellia Fortress and the orbital wave jamming device in Nord were both designed by him too. And he's allowed to be the president of an institute? What does that say about your students? Unbelievable. An engineer who doesn't strive to satisfy his intellectual curiosity is a sad sight of an engineer, or they're just morally responsible. I don't know. We just design things. It's up to their users to decide what to do with them. Yeah, I only made a bunch of death robots. How was I supposed to know they'd be used to wage war? Who could have known? Do you get it now? It was because I couldn't cope with this part of him that I ended up going to the academy over here. Yeah, I totally get it. Unfortunately. Oh, right. What made you come visit the professor to begin with? Ah, of course. That was what I called you here for. I was hoping I might be able to get some kind of advice or pointers from him. You know, about getting a new weapon for Valimar. Oh?
And if I might be so bold as to offer a word of advice, get Valimar a better sword, one like yours. If you think you're such hot stuff you can beat me without your 8 leaves training, you're in for a world of hurt.
I am getting a weapon.
Correct choice of armaments is indeed paramount. Selecting one the Awakener is well suited to will increase combat efficiency exponentially.
In a way, he's right. Yeah, in a way. Like, you wouldn't blame the person who manufactured the gun if a gun was used in a shooting. But I think this is on a much larger scale. That sentiment doesn't quite apply. He says you want a weapon capable of fighting on equal terms with the Azure Knights. We might have gone our separate ways, but he's still a former student of mine. I'm open to the possibility of designing something for you. Really? You'd make a weapon for Valimar? I said I'd be open to the possibility. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. If you want my help, I have one condition. Zemurian ore. Ring any bells for you, Reen? I think so. You used that to make weapons for us before, didn't you, George? Oh yeah, can I have those back? Oh, you know of it. Saves me the effort of explaining then. It's an extremely rare ore found here in Zemuria. It's an astoundingly strong material that possesses a mysterious radiance within it. And what's more, as I learned by developing the soul dots, the frames of the Divine Knights are made up of that very ore. Your Ashen Knight included. I had no idea. The double saber Ordine uses appears to be made of it too, which, as I'm sure you figured out, means if you're ever going to compete against Crow, you're going to need a Tachi made of Zemurian ore too. That's gonna take a lot of ore, holy crap. All I found last game were tiny little shards. To make one, however, you're going to need vast quantities of ore. Yet, it was only recently discovered how to refine the ore at all. Processing will be immensely difficult. But bring me the materials, and I'll be willing to assist you. The concept of a weapon that can compete against Divine Knights is of great interest to me. Even when you're helping people, it's only to help yourself. It'd be nice if you were doing it to atone for developing the soul dots, but I can't picture those words coming out of your mouth. The very thought makes me feel ill. Bear in mind, Zemurian ore is an incredibly rare material. I doubt you'll find enough of it to get the job done. Still, should you pull it off, I'll design you the finest Tachi you'll ever have laid eyes on. Or my name as an engineer. I can promise you that. Thank you, Professor. This will be a great help to us. Rare or not, we're going to find all the Zemurian ore we can to make this work. I'll keep my expectations low. Now you see why people don't get along with him? Yeah. At least he's gonna make me a fancy sword. That's something. The advice Reen received on forging a new weapon for Valimar came from a surprising source, but they could not have asked for better. After politely excusing themselves, Reen and George left the Institute to reunite with the rest of the crew. And once the maintenance was declared complete, they boarded the Courageous and departed for Ruhr. December 23rd, touring Erebonia 3. Oh, we have the twins now. Oh, Angie's at the helm. She kicked that guy out. I have to tell you, I'm impressed. I was expecting this beauty of a ship to be on the feisty side, but she's a real sweet girl. Cutting through the clouds like this feels wonderful. I can get used to this. Wow, I can't believe how quickly you've gotten the hang of it, Angie. Neither can I. Poor Alan. But I think it's obvious who's more qualified to sit here between the two of us. This job's all yours now. Why, thank you. I hereby accept the positions of Chief Helmsman and Courageous Second in Command. She really is amazing. There's no one out there who can tame a vehicle as fast as Angie. Well, at least I feel less like I'm going to die at any moment now. That's something. We're not going to have to worry about a thing with her around. We should still worry about Mint blowing us up at any moment. That is always a possibility. Moving right along. The good news is that we were able to liberate Ruhr. I don't think any of us could have predicted how much the war situation would change in the process. Marquis Ragnar and his provincial army's withdrawal from the conflict will have a profound effect going forward. Losing one of their key members is bound to be a painful loss to the Alliance. For one thing, it should make things easier for Lieutenant General Vander and the 3rd Armored Division. Their greatest concern before now was the Nordia Provincial Army, after all. So the Alliance's overwhelming supremacy is finally starting to sway. Only in East Erebonia, though. They still come out on top in the West. Right, Prince Olivert said as much too. General Le Guin and Brigadier General Bardius. No, I'd forgotten about them. I don't want to fight those people. I really would rather not. Are out there and claiming one victory after another. I bet they are. And then there's your brother, Eustace. I don't want to fight him again either. He's a brilliant leader, and it shows. I see. Be that as it may, all we can do is focus our efforts on the Eastern Front for now. That's what we were entrusted with, and fretting over things we can't change won't do us any good, right? That's putting it into perspective, yes. We've got our hands full over here as it is, so let's make every moment count. Time to get back to gathering all the info we can. Speaking of, mind giving us an update on the situation with Valimar's weaponry? Ah, right. How could we forget? Professor Schmidt agreed to cooperate with us, didn't he? Cooperate is a strong word, Elisa. He only cares about what interests him. That it ends up benefiting us is purely secondary. And remember, he's only going to help if we happen to find enough Sumerian ore to make the weapon. How we're going to get stuff that rare is beyond me, though. You said that Valimar himself is made of that ore, did you not? You wouldn't happen to have any ideas, would you, Emma? I'm afraid the Hexen clan knows very little concerning the creation of divine knights. Some legends passed down through the clan say they were made during the time of the Great Collapse. Specifically, they were forged by artisans who called themselves gnomes. Gnomes? Gnomes? There are gnomes now? That's an interesting name. Gnomes. I know the term from old stories such much like anyone else, but I had no idea a band of artisans by that name existed. Supposedly, they once worked closely with the clan's ancestors. I want to meet a gnome. But somewhere down the line, the witches and gnomes ended up parting ways. I couldn't tell you exactly when. How curious. Maybe so, but none of that's going to help us find any ore. Our chances of finding enough were pretty slim to begin with. I know where you can get enough, but only if you're willing to overcome some very difficult trials to obtain it. Great. Right, we have to go do the fire shrine, too. That's also on the agenda. You do? Really? What do I have to gain by lying? You're aware of those strange ruins scattered all over the country, right? Are they made of Zemurian ore? Can I break them down to make my own weapon? Oh, yeah. Where the higher elements were active? Those are the ones. They're called spirit shrines. They were built on top of septium veins long, long ago by gnomes to encourage the formation of massive Zemurian ore crystals. Why do you know this? But Emma doesn't. Those crystals were in turn used to create the Divine Knights. So if there's any place in Erebonia to start looking for the vast amount you need, it's there. I had no idea. Why didn't you tell us this before now? Am I supposed to be a mind reader? It wasn't exactly relevant until now, so why bring it up? No need to bite our heads off. Hey, she told us now, right? All we gotta do is get to one of those shrines and we'll be rolling in ore. Let's hope so. We've got a lot on our plate checking up on the country, but exploring a shrine's been our best lead yet. And no matter how difficult it might be, a little thing like a trial isn't gonna scare us away, right? Right. With the discussion coming to an end, their destination had been decided. Before departing, however, Class 7 thought it best to check if there were any new requests from Prince Oliver. And their timing turned out to be quite apt, as he had very recently sent several their way. Cruisin' for a bruisin'. I like it. Okay, imagine Eustace Alberea weeping for the safety of his province's people as they're chased through the streets by a ravaging monster. I can't picture Eustace crying. No, I just can't. Certainly not weeping at that. Surely you would not let such a dire scene come to pass, would you? The battle is set, and the North Kreutzen highway awaits. Monster? A bear dawn? Interesting, instead of Abaddon. Interesting. From Bliblanc? What the heck? Now we're getting requests from the Phantom Key? Dearest ladies and gentlemen, I have taken the liberty of calling upon you for a request of my own, unbeknownst to my worthy rival. I have left a letter in the location indicated by the Blue Cross. I think you'll find it well worth your while to read it. What? Left a letter in the location indicated by the Blue Cross. Bro, I have no idea what you're on about. I'll figure it out, I guess. Gone Air. From Klein into Bell. So, here's the deal. An airliner got hijacked mid-trip and went missing, but we managed to track it to the Isengard range. Right now, the hostages are still inside, so we're gonna rescue them. It's gonna be tough, given that the hijackers are armed, and that's where you and the Courageous come in. Toa can give you the specifics on how to reach us, but we'll be waiting in the Isengard range. See you there. Okay. Okay. This one's from Klein. I'm happy to see that Hibel's with him too. Not so happy about the airliner going missing, though. Doesn't seem like something we can afford to ignore, dangerous as it sounds. But look at this one. Phantom Thief B! What's this about reading a letter? As if we have time to be concerning ourselves with his pathetic antics. I know what you mean, really, but ignoring it might be even worse. Yup, we've got our work cut out for us. Hey, Reen, I want to look out for everyone. Let me come with you, okay? You're always with me, Fee. Of course, Fee. You're always welcome. I think Celine and I should come with you when you're exploring the shrine, too. I was about to say the same thing. And make sure you're ready before you go. I wasn't kidding when I said the trials were difficult. It is temporarily not possible to remove Fee from the party. Why would I ever want to? Yeah. Confirm.